Samsung's latest smartwatch entry is the Gear Sport. The Gear Sport is smaller and lighter than the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier, which should make for a more comfortable fit and a look which is more appealing to both sexes alike. The Gear Sport is now water resistant up to 50 meters and can track swims. Combined with Tizen 3.0 and numerous health improvements, it's shaping up as a competitive offering from Samsung. Samsung didn't design the Gear Sport to make and receive calls on the watch itself, unlike the Gear S3 or Series 3 LTE Apple Watch. The clue's in the name. Samsung is pitching the Gear Sport as a fitness-focused smartwatch first and foremost. As such, it will have to also compete with dedicated fitness wearables. We'll be looking at the fitness aspects in greater detail than usual. During a recent European trip we put on our trainers to find out the Gear Sports body comes in two colors, black the color of our review unit and also blue, both accompanied by a matching 20mm silicone strap. Encased in a 316L corrosion-resistant stainless steel body, the 1.2 circular Super AMOLED touch-enabled display is protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass 3 and is surrounded by Samsung's ubiquitous rotating bezel. The bezel itself has a number of small/fine notches around its circumference to aid in grip and provide feedback during rotation with a smooth but noticeable click. It is a joy to use and provides an unobscured view of the screen at all times as you navigate through the Gear Sports features. It's a matter of personal taste, but some of us prefer our smartwatches to sport the more traditional round displays, especially ones that we will wear 24/7 in the gym, at work and whilst playing. Ironically, for a fitness-focused smartwatch, the main watch body itself protrudes out from underneath the circular display in a over-eaten fashion, which is probably a direct result of having to accommodate the various sensors, battery and other miscellaneous hardware. Whilst certainly not as divisive as a certain notch on first acquaintance, it does detract slightly from the appeal of the overall design. On the right are two additional buttons for back and home. Both buttons have a texture to help make them non-slip, especially useful when undertaking water sports. Turning the Gear Sport over and we see the LED HR sensor utilizing green light, which looks identical to the sensor within the Gear S3. The Gear Sport can sample your heart rate continuously throughout the day, with the sample rate being configurable between always. This will impact battery life, frequent every 10 minutes and never. The fitment of the HR sensor on the Gear Sport differs from the S3 in that it doesn't lie flush with the back of the watch. It's raised by 1 mm. Whether this is a result of the slimmer design or intentional, we're fans of this approach, as it does ensure the sensor gets a better contact with the skin whilst not feeling noticeable during everyday wear. As expected, the Super AMOLED screen is stunning. Its 1.2 screen size with its 360x360 resolution provides a sharp-looking pixel density of 302 ppi. Being an OLED, the colors are deep and saturated with the Tizen UI, making good use of the display. Thanks to its circular shape, third-party watch faces in particular look realistic and act as a showcase for the display quality. An ambient light sensor is employed to enable auto low brightness mode. During out testing we also witnessed the light sensor being used to boost the screen beyond its brightest setting in bright light. As a result, we had no problems viewing the watch in all lighting conditions, and we had no issues with the viewing angles during our use either. In addition to the heart rate sensor, the Gear Sports fitness capabilities are bolstered by the usual suspects that include an accelerometer, barometer and gyro sensor. The Samsung Gear Sport comes with Tizen 3.0 out of the gate and brings with it a number of improvements. The fitness tracking and health capabilities have been enhanced, including all-day heart rate tracking. You now have the ability to create reminders and contacts on the watch itself, and a number of UI enhancements to further improve usability. We've covered off the basics of Tizen in depth in previous reviews, including our Gear S3 review, so we won't cover too much old ground here. Talking of which, During the writing of this review, Samsung rolled out Tizen 3.0 to its Gear S3 as part of the Value Pack update. You can customize this screen even further by pressing and holding any of the icons. Given exporting credentials, it's good to see a water lock mode that turns off the touchscreen, wake up gesture and watch always on. This prevents accidental inputs caused by contact with water, such as when undertaking water sports or showers. Whilst you can also increase the sensitivity of the touchscreen to allow use when wearing gloves, useful when hiking or skiing. Watch face complications and other watch face elements are interactive. The hourglass watch face shows floors descended and steps progressing against goal by filling up the 2 digits that represent the hour. Touching either of these digits takes you to the corresponding Samsung Health Summary page. As you'd expect, there is a wealth of watch faces that can be downloaded for Galaxy apps on the Gear Sport itself or via the Samsung Gear app on your smartphone.